and they grabbed their things and ran up.
Kwon Ping, a prominent businessman who's highly sought after for his views. He founded Banyan Tree Holdings with his wife Claire Chiang 25 years ago. They've encountered many crises in their lifetime, but none like this.
This is the worst crisis that's hit the whole world in probably 50 years or ever since World War II. And for my business, it's the worst hit of everyone who's been hit. The only thing that's a saving grace is that there's only two businesses that are probably worse than mine, and that's aviation and restaurants.
As flights grounded to a halt, the ferocity of the coronavirus outbreak took many, including Ho, by surprise.
So we weren't prepared, obviously not, but we were prepared to the extent that we know that our industry is the most susceptible to event risk. So we were relatively more careful in terms of, we had the protocols in place already. Immediately, we rolled out unpaid leave. Immediately, we did this and that, knowing that in this kind of a crisis, the name of the game is cash preservation.
The company is laying off 10 to 15% of its global workforce as part of its right-sizing and cost-saving measures. The group, which operates brands like Banyan Tree and Angsana, employs around 11,000 staff around the world.
We've been down this line before, but never as badly as it is today. Virtually every single one of our hotels closed in the beginning because it hit the whole world.
But as countries slowly emerge from lockdowns, Ho is starting to see life coming back.
The recovery that has been very patchy and hard to predict, although now we're beginning to see the shape of it, of course. Any hotel in a large economy with a large domestic tourism component will recover faster. So our hotels in China all have already come back to some degree of business. Those that are within driving distance of a major metropolitan center have recovered fully. Those that are in China but you have to fly to are a little bit slower. The ones that are the most difficult, of course, would be those in the ASEAN economies, because those are the ones that have traditionally been most dependent on either European inbound or China inbound. And the domestic economies of the ASEAN countries are still not strong enough to generate sufficient domestic tourism, although they're all scrambling to try to do so.
Did you have to deal with any infections at either your office or any of your hotel properties? What health protocols did you put in place to protect your staff and your guests?
Like everyone, we put in health protocols. We give it a nice name. Ours is called Safe Sanctuary, and others have got, every hotel has rolled out their own protocols, which are probably about 75% the same. No, we didn't have any infected persons in any of our hotels, nor in our offices, whether with guests or with staff. Although every hotel is saying that they have protocols for hygiene and so on, I don't think customers are that worried about the hygiene aspect. It's really the fear of flying that has postponed their ability to come back to hotels. They just can't get to the leisure hotels that are only accessible by air. But we've seen everywhere, even in the US or China. Immediately, almost like instantaneously after the lockdown eases, people get into their cars and they drive to a resort somewhere. So it's not the fear of the hotels, it's the transportation to get there that is a problem.
The hospitality group reported a net loss of $2.4 million for the first quarter ending March. To entice post-pandemic travel, Banyan Tree offered steep discounts in a forward sale of stay vouchers.
Some things have been quite successful. We've done the ultimate getaway, like others are also doing, where you try to pre-sell your rooms with deep discounts, basically not so much to try to get the cash in, it's more to try to keep people's interest still alive in travel and leisure. So we did all those things. But the most important part was to try to conserve our cash. And of course, this crisis has hit harder than any others in terms of its direct impact. We've never, even for example, in Thailand, during the height of the tsunami or the riots and so on, we never had 100% closed hotels. We never had zero occupancy. Obviously, we've had that now, and we've had to do difficult things. We've actually had to have unpaid leave, which was not sufficient. We then had to go out with actual furloughs, where we had to actually lay off a lot of our staff. But we've tried to mitigate that and still create a culture of cohesiveness among all our associates. Because, for example, in Phuket, we're one of the largest players. So by having to still let go quite a lot of staff, we created our own app, our own jobs portal called lagunajobs.com. And that will be, in fact, in all our other integrated resorts in Phuket, Bintan, Langko in Vietnam, where everyone who we have to let go, we register them immediately on this app. And the minute that we need any new temps anytime, or other hotels can register for us. So we've become a temp employment agency as a matter of necessity to try to at least make life a bit better for our associates when times get a bit better.